Sorry. Hello, and welcome back to This Old Bench. I'm your host, Justin Seeker. In our mailbag this week, we came across an individual who's been on our radar for a while now. He's an active member of the Earthquaker Devices Owners Group on Facebook and is known to have the craziest collection of Earthquaker devices in the world and some of the rarest we've ever released. His name is Max Reff, and this is what he had to say. Dear This Old Bench, I've always been hyper-obsessed and loved to collect things. When I finally got into the pedal world, I fell in love with the artwork and crazy sounds. At first I had a mix of all different brands, but I got a Dunes when it was released and knew there was something different. I was big into the DoD Facebook page for a while, but the art didn't do much for me and the company was gone, so I didn't feel like I was supporting anyone by collecting old pedals. I found the Earthquaker group and became immersed in a community that made me feel welcome and embraced by people with kindness and excitement. It gradually became an obsession for me as I learned the history, saw the integrity and morals of the employees that worked there, and how the company took all instruments seriously, not just guitars. I can honestly go on forever about my interests and fascinations, but it might be easier if I just drop by to show you my collection myself. Well, that's cool. God, what's up, Max?
Hey.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Welcome to This Old Bench.
Thanks.
We brought a lot of pedals today.
Yeah.
How many did you bring?
Well, I brought all of them, which is currently about 75, but it's always growing.
So before we dive into this collection, I thought we'd bring in someone a little more qualified to talk about these.
Who would that be?
Let's bring in Jamie Stillman.
Oh.
Jamie. Ooh, wash your hand.
It's a little weird in there.
Welcome.
Hey, Max.
Hi.
How's it going? This is Max. So how much do you know about Max's collection?
I've heard about this collection, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
It's pretty impressive.
It is very impressive.
So what kicked off this pedal obsession here? Which one was maybe the first?
Well, the first one was a Dunes. I unfortunately don't have that one anymore, but as I get really sucked into this stuff, I do a lot of replacing things and kind of upgrading. The first one that really got me interested in some of the old collectibles is the old Hummingbird. I saw one pop up on eBay years ago, and I said that artwork looks different, and I love it, and the one knob caught my attention. From there, it was just kind of a deep rabbit hole that I guess I'm kind of at the bottom of now.
So what was the hardest pedal to acquire in this group?
There were a few that were really hard for different reasons, whether it took a long time for them to show up or I had to do a lot of PI work trying to find it.
Yeah.
This green Hoof took a really long time to get, and this amp hammer took a really long time. But, you know, they're also some of my favorites.
What is your PI work like? What do you do?
Got the hat.
You know, it requires me going through a lot of old forums, a lot of old photos, seeing who's in that photo, if I can place a name to the person that owns it.
Do you have like a crazy board with like
Honestly,
string?
it feels like I have it, you know. It just goes back and forth between like, okay, well, this person sold it at this point to this person. It went to this country, if I can find out who knows someone that has it. And sometimes I go through a dozen people trying to get one of these, and it's a lot. It takes a long
amazing.
time. It's a lot of work, but I mean, at least for me, I feel like it paid off.
Well, Jamie, is there any pedals that like you're shocked to see that you haven't seen? And
The most shocking pedal to me is this white light that has mislabeled controls. It has the Hummingbird controls
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
for depth and rate instead of the gain and tone. I can't help but feel like I didn't let that get out into the world. I don't know how you have it. And then the other one that I'm kind of surprised and still confused by is this Rangemaster clone, which you brought to Earthquaker Day. When you showed it to me, I still have zero recollection of it, why I made it, where it went, but it's definitely my handwriting inside. So
That's the only reason I bought it, is because I knew that it was your handwriting.
yeah, I don't know. I'm super impressed with this. It's very cool to see, because I didn't think anything like think to keep any collection or like documents of one-off things, or I don't know. I kind of wish that I had.
So obviously we can't get into every single pedal and all the details about it, but what are your 5 like greatest hits here?
It's hard to choose, but personally, I really like the Helicopter Party. I like this green hoof that has different insides, the old Fuzz Master, this Range Master clone, and then the white light that has the different labels on it.
Sounds good. Let's check them out. So let's talk about this Helicopter Party. How did that come about, and what's going on?
That was a custom one-off for a guy named Justin Springman, who obviously didn't appreciate it. Because here it is.
Shame.
No, I mean, I'm glad he didn't appreciate it.
The Helicopter Party was a custom one-off for this guy who was a fan of my old band, the Party of Helicopters. And these little bats that are on it were on a little sticker that came with our last record called Please Believe It. Obviously, the name is a play on the Party of Helicopters. Mm-hmm. And I read back through like all our communication because, like you collect pedals, I collect emails. And this pedal was going to be way crazier. He initially asked for all of these plus this delay that was not the disaster transport. I was talking to him about this delay that I had made, but it never came out. I don't really know what it was. But we had determined that, there's obviously so much going on in here, the enclosure would have to be twice as big to fit the delay. And so we scrapped that. And this was just like my favorite combination of our pedals at that time, the Hoof, the Grand Orbiter, and the Hummingbird in that order. Then there was like a couple mods that we did to it, like expression control for the rate for the Grand Orbiter and also one for the rate for the Hummingbird, which at that time didn't exist. So those were kind of unique to these circuits.
What year are we talking?
2009.
Okay.
Who did you make it for again?
Justin Springman, Arkansas. I'm not thinking about it or anything. Still.
So we've got the Hoof, Grand Orbiter, and the Hummingbird. So these are all the same circuits that went into them?
Yeah, at the time, that's what they were.
Okay.
It's cool Halloween Hoof. This is my favorite color of all those old hammer tone spray paints.
That's pretty rad.
Big fan of that color green.
Very cool. So how did you come about acquiring this guy?
Honestly, it was chance. I saw a post from a long time ago where you talked about it. There was an old photo of it. I saw some old forum posts, people selling it back and forth to each other. And then it just kind of went cold. I never was able to reach out to anybody. And then one day it just appeared on reverb.com and that was it. I was I need to get this thing.
Well, let's stop talking about it and see what it sounds like.
Cool.
Where do you want to start?
It was
crazy.
It is very cool.
That's nuts. Yeah, I do the same thing with the configuration, lining them up and putting them that way. But to hear it in one box is.
I mean, it's almost like a pedal board in itself.
Yeah.
Pretty
rad.
I almost feel like the Hummingbird is like more intense.
It could be
than our current production, but maybe that's me just forgetting it. But it's really synthy sounding. This combination of pedals.
The rate seems like it's the fastest I've heard, but when I was playing with it earlier. On the second mode.
Yeah, it's almost like a ring modulator.
Yeah. That's what helicopters sound like when they party.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
I think that's some damn Yankees.
Oh. Take us higher, Jamie. Take us higher. Awesome. All right.
Let's look at what's going on inside there.
I got a chainsaw if you want to.
That works.
You keep it intact.
No, we can cut it in half. It's
All right,
fine.
cool. One of one.
Kind of a tight fit on there.
Hit a crowbar.
Call that party. Whoa.
Oh, there he is.
Is it just how you remembered it, Jamie?
I didn't remember it at all, so yeah. Oh.
Is there anything you can't get at all that's in here?
I mean, these are actual old Panasonic film caps.
Mm-hmm.
And we were using a modern replacement for them after they discontinued them. These germanium transistors, this little unijunction transistor that's in the Hummingbird, we had to stop using those a couple years ago because they were obsolete, I think, when I started using them, but you could still easily find them.
Yeah.
And now I can't. So we use a modern replacement for it that needs to be tuned a little bit different. I'd say that's some pretty clean wiring for how impatient I was about wiring
At the time, yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious.
How it smells. I've only opened like 2 of them that smelled like cigarettes.
Pass it
Yeah,
around.
that's what I was looking for.
One of the chrysalis smelled like cigarettes.
Huh.
This smelled like cigarettes inside. I don't know if it
That
still does.
I'm not surprised by. Chrysalis I am surprised by because it was made in my basement at my house and we didn't smoke in the basement.
Take a whiff.
Smells like a little failure inside.
It's a good smell.
It smells like success too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a successful thing. That's why it's 101.
Nice. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. It was definitely cool to see it again.
All right, so next up, the green hoof. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, yeah. What do you think?
It's a lot grindier than a regular hoof.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
In comparison to the helicopter party hoof, or pretty close, or no?
Yeah, no, I think this one's pretty different.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is like right in the conversion period where the shift knob got added and it was a trimmer on inside.
On the inside, okay.
Yeah. And on this one, I believe it's like a trimmer like wired off board on a little like piece of perf board.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, for a little while, so mids knob on the circuit board. This one, definitely a lot more distortion, a little more compressed sounding, a little bassier sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me more of just like a traditional Big Muff.
I like the enclosure. That's really interesting. Where do you?
You know, John Deere.
John Deere?
The green.
That's where you get these enclosures. Huh?
Yeah, these enclosures were cool. I don't know what happened to the company, but I think they were called pedal enclosures. That was the name of the company.
Yeah.
It's a real creative.
Direct
Yeah,
to the
it was
point.
pedalenclosures.com, and they're like these really heavy, like
Yeah.
aluminum enclosures. I made a handful of hoofs enclosures like this.
How rare is this hoof? Like, is this just one?
This is a one-off, but I mean,
Yeah.
any I've seen in this are like normal hoofs except for this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that there's somewhere like 10 or less hoofs in these sloped enclosures. There's some red ones and a blue one, and those are like speckled.
I found someone with like a copper one.
Yeah, there's like
but
copper and gold, and then I think there's only one of these green ones.
Do they each have the matching LED to the enclosure?
They must.
Maybe.
I think they do
Yeah.
actually.
Full
Because I
circle.
had someone with a red one try turning it on and it was red.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
How'd you acquire this, Max?
Tracking down the people that had it, you know, I knew who it was made for. I knew like the third owner. And then by the time it got to the fifth owner, I asked him, I was like, if you ever want to sell this thing. And then, he gets back to me a few months later saying, I know how much you want this. I know how much it means to you. And, he let me get it from him. And I was very appreciative of that. He seemed very excited for me to have it. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, should we crack it open?
Let's crack it open.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
2009. Oh yeah, so you got a little jumper there.
Off-board wiring. There's a shift control. All silicon transistors, silicon diodes.
No germanium in there.
No germanium, no LED clippers. I don't think there's any real resistor value changes, actually. Seems to be stock otherwise. There's definitely some cap changes.
Mm-hmm. So why is it silicon versus germanium?
Well, there had to be a reason. My guess is they either asked for one that had higher gains, like kind of crunchier, more compressed sound, or something more temperature stable.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and according to the records, this was a one-off. So it was obvious that there was probably some communication asking for some mods to it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Hoof version 4. The Hoof has a lot of versions on the circuit board. I don't remember exactly how many, but the circuit really never changed. It's just different layouts for the same circuit.
Well, it always impresses me when it still looks new after so many
Yeah,
years.
I know. You expect it to be like dusty.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
filthy or
think too
something
many
inside.
people opened it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's interesting too that all this information is written on the powder coated side and then
On the inside, yeah.
inside.
Honestly, this is one of my favorites. As soon as I started collecting, I saw some pictures of ones in these wedge enclosures, and I said, if I ever find one of these, I have to get it. I have to find it. And then I found out that this one was a custom. So that was kind of like, a bonus on top of something that was already a holy grail for me. So there's a lot of reasons why I love this thing.
It's pretty cool. I mean, the unique enclosure is awesome. So yeah, anytime you see something like that, you gotta grab it. So from the Hoof, let's get into this Fuzz Master General. Really want to see what's going on in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, looks like we've got the Fuzz Master General.
There it is.
Tell us about the history.
This version, I think there's only 6 of them total. And it was just a limited run. We did the Tone Reaper, Fuzz Master General. I think the Dream Crusher was part of that. Sold, I think, on the website or on eBay. It's late 2009, I think, or 2008, something like that. Yeah.
So when you say we made, was it just you?
It was just me.
Okay.
It's, I'm referring to we, the
we.
company. But yeah, it was me. Made 6 of these.
Okay. So why the minimal artwork? Just happened?
Yeah, I wanted to, with all those pedals, I just wanted to do something different than what the standard artwork had been.
Find it in a general store.
Yeah, it's just a general business fuzz device.
Right.
A fuzz device for business.
Yeah. Nice. So Max, how did you acquire this?
I actually got it from the person who bought it directly from you in 2009. He had it. He was using it for a bit. It was in storage for the most part. I was just scrolling through Craigslist one day. It was in Arkansas. I saw it in the background of a different photo. And I said, do you have this? What do you want for it? And, we just started talking and it just kind of happened. But it's the only one I ever found. And it's in great condition considering that. And
It is in, it looks brand new.
yeah, I mean, he's the only person who had it, and I'm sure he didn't take it out too often.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of almost like the middle setting on the later production
Mm-hmm.
run, Fuzz Master General.
That's pretty crazy. You want to see what's going on inside?
Yeah.
Crack it open.
Let's open.
Sure.
All right. Whoa.
Oh, very clean.
I know. It's crazy. I love these boards.
Yeah, it's hand etched and drilled circuit board.
When was this? 09. So is this the same time you did the helicopter party, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is like
same rare. Yeah.
Same date, and my guess is because it's Arkansas, it went to the same person. So this circuit is essentially an Acetone Fuzz Master FM2, and what would later become the production run of
And we
the
can
Fuzz Master.
see the other
Yeah,
two.
yeah. We've got one down here. Ooh, look at that guy.
Mhm.
And production style.
Yeah. So these are all somehow the same pedal.
Smoke 'em if you got them.
The final Fuzz Master just changed the diodes that are used in the octave section, and I do feel like each one has like a really unique sound to it, especially the no diodes option, the middle position. You get almost a clean octave up. It's really nice.
So this was for?
Psycho Las Vegas. I think there was like maybe 100 of them.
I think it's on the back of them.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. Day of the Shred.
Day of the Shred. So same people who do Psycho Las Vegas.
That's right.
Every one of them is numbered 420 out of 150.
So how far in between? Can't remember.
I think there was quite some time between these.
This is
these
2014,
two.
I
Yeah,
think.
2014. Is that anywhere on the back? Am I just
It's on the
imagining it?
inside.
Yeah. So, 5 years. And then I think this came out.
2015, I
Yeah,
think.
like really quickly after that. I think making this, we realized, was like, that's an awesome sounding pedal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
It is
put into
ripper.
This thing.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to this white light. So we've got the white light here. Most of the way, is there something a little different going on here?
Well,
A few things?
yeah, apparently this has the control labeling for the Hummingbird, which is fascinating to me. I don't recall this like being a thing.
And these are the decals, right?
Yeah, these are water slide decals. I mean, obviously I can tell I just used like the drill pattern for the Hummingbird at the time.
Yeah.
The template for this, but I don't feel like I would have made a run of these with totally wrong control labels and sent them out.
Oh, it's definitely not a run.
into the world, which makes me feel like I gave this to somebody or someone took it, or maybe it just ended up in like shipment somehow. But I can't imagine that being the case.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
I mean, how
pretty
long did
weird.
it take you to notice it?
Oh, it took a while, yeah. I'm looking at it, I'm like,
I'm
okay,
sure it
what's
could have
going
just
on?
gone out
Yeah.
and not even realize it.
That's wild.
Yeah, so that's confusing.
Yeah, that, and then you've got the toggle
Yeah, the
switch.
toggle switch on the side, which is the first run.
That's pretty
were
cool,
like
though.
that.
Yeah.
Which I really like the way it looks for some reason. It's like totally off center.
Yeah.
Should be triggering. My OCD.
Probably is for a few people.
Going
But-
right over the art.
Yeah, going over the art, but something about it I really like.
That's all I can stare at.
Yeah.
I do like the curved compression.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome. So before we hear it, tell us how you acquired it.
So I already had one of these. I have, I think, number 28, and it's a little beat up. I saw one that looked kind of nicer. I only noticed when it got to me that it wasn't right. I thought it was just a normal one. I bought it. I went through everything. And then it gets to me, and I'm like, this is not what a white light looks like.
Can't hear the rate difference?
No, I can't hear the rate difference. And then I asked the guy, and he's like, I don't know. I got it from someone in like 2010. It's just been sitting around,
Yeah.
and he didn't notice anything was weird about it either.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so weird. How could you not notice?
I don't
How
know.
many times it passed through people and are like, oh.
I mean, I say that, but there's a slight possibility that somehow I just released it that way. But I don't know. Seems weird.
That is pretty wild. Well, let's give it a whirl. See what it sounds like. pressure switch adds a little more bass.
Yeah.
Ties it in there.
It's like, it sounds like the white light, but it also sounds different somehow. Like there's got to be something a little different about this circuit.
It's just how it looks. It's tricking your brain.
It could be.
I think there actually is some different stuff inside.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the weight control isn't as like, it's not as, it doesn't cut out as much low end back here, and it gets a little mushier sounding. That's the technical term for that. Mushy. You know, and seems gainier to me, but I don't know.
So besides the labeling, they're all as they were on the white light. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let's see what's different inside.
Sure.
Check it out.
Well,
Well,
there's no serial number. There is a cap soldered to the IC.
missing 1K. Weird.
Board is scratched out. So yeah, this definitely wasn't released.
Oops.
Yeah.
I wonder where it came from, Max.
I can't tell you.
Where'd you get this,
Digging
Max?
around.
I can't
in
tell.
my
I can't
basement?
tell you, or I won't tell
Where'd you get the
You'll
pedal,
never
Max?
know. You'll never know which it is.
Yeah, wonky ass cap.
It says soft signal ODV1 under that like whiteout or nail polish or
bent.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, I cared enough that like I didn't even want to see that it was called that. There's got to be something.
You tried to write hummingbird in there.
Yes.
Crunchy hummingbird.
Yeah.
Crunchy hummingbird.
So is it possible that this was a prototype or predecessor to the white light?
To the actual
The
white
actual
light.
white light.
Yeah, I believe it is. I mean, I have that original circuit board
Yeah.
file still that just says soft signal OD, and it was pretty much the same.
Should have never made it out of the shop, though.
No. So we're gonna have
I'll
to
never make it
confiscate
back into the shop.
I know.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So speaking of prototypes and things that have no graphic or idea what's going on, let's move on to this guy. Okay, last one we have is I have no idea what's going on.
It's a pedal. It's silver.
It's a pedal.
I have zero recollection of building this. I don't know where I got it from.
Where did you get it?
I honestly can't believe how it happened either, really. I got it on this like offshoot buy and sell site called OfferUp.
Oh, okay.
And-
I've heard of that.
Clear.
I just saw it. It had the tag Earthquaker on it. I didn't think much of it, and then I saw, it had your handwriting in it, which of course I recognize at this point.
Of course.
Of course,
you
right?
recognize.
And it said it was a Rangemaster clone. I just took a shot, and you said it was your build.
Yeah.
Apparently, someone that used to tour with a band that toured with the Black Keys had you make it for him, and then it sat in storage for like a decade, and then he just
Interesting.
found it one day.
I wonder which band that was. I don't know. I really don't remember making it at all, but it came out to this year's Earthquaker Day, and you had it, and I looked at it. I
Authenticated.
definitely made it, but I just don't really remember it at all. Apparently I was in a hurry because it doesn't look all that pretty.
Yeah.
Looks industrial.
Yeah. Just gotta matter.
Got a
just
nice
matters what's
patina
inside.
over the years.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Let's see what's going on.
Let's see if it works.
Yeah, really. There it is.
It boosts treble.
Yeah,
I can
it's
tell.
the
I bet it
treble
would
boost.
sound all right through like a amp that was more broken up. It's definitely. I mean, there's some noise.
Yeah.
You see across that, but it shouldn't be that much. does its job.
Yeah,
That's about
pretty
it.
wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's cool. Still works. You got a little cleaner. Turn that knob.
Yeah, that's good. Well, let's see what's going on inside.
Oh, there it is.
All right, Rangemaster clone.
1 of 1.
12308. I like the perf.
Yeah. Built on a little piece of strip board.
That's awesome.
Mounted to the pot. It's got input cap switch.
Not much to it, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Just like a Rangemaster.
Yeah.
Not much to it, but it looks pretty stock, honestly.
That's how you make a Rangemaster,
Well,
kids.
it's negative ground, so that's different.
Oh,
This is NPN transistor. But otherwise, I mean, it looks pretty stock and pretty clean, honestly. Again, zip ties.
So did this jump to any pedal in the line?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had this fascination with the Rangemasters.
Yeah.
I do like them a lot with like a Marshall amp. It sounds like rock and roll.
Yep.
It's that sound.
That's what we're going
like
for.
AC/DC. And obviously, like the Bose is the most obvious pedal that came out of this. But there is a pedal even before this one, the Amp Hammer. It was a pretty stock Rangemaster clone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think Arrows is from the same area too.
Well, Max, thank you for coming out, showing us all your Quaker devices that you've acquired over the years. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming all the way out.
We're not quite done yet. We have one more pedal to talk about next time. Thanks for joining us on This Old Bench.